I remember when Paper Mario released on the N64, and at first glance I thought to myself, this can't be a real game. That was back in the summer of 2000, and I remember exactly where I was when I began my adventure. Since then, we've seen a bunch more games in the series, some good, some bad, some really bad. And before we get deep into the paper, let me know in the comments section below which Paper Mario game is your favorite and why is it the 1,000-Year Door? I'm kidding, but that one's mine. But seriously, that's the best one. Now, Paper Mario wasn't Mario's first RPG adventure. Back in 1996, Square and Nintendo gave us Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, a cult classic that proved Mario was a Renaissance man who could really do anything in any genre. And the list of things I wouldn't do for a true sequel to Super Mario RPG is very, very short, but that's a discussion for another video. Fast forward about 4 years and Mario stars in his next big RPG. Originally, the game was developed under the name Mario RPG 2 and was intended to be a sequel, but went on to create a franchise of its own. Paper Mario had a lot of charm, from graphics to writing, gameplay, music, and basically every other element that went into making the game. The game follows the traditional Save Peach from Bowser storyline, but with a few added twists. Bowser has harnessed the power of the Star Rod, a legendary scepter that can grant wishes, and Mario must partner with the 7 Star Spirits to take Bowser down and return the Star Rod to Star Haven. Here, we're also introduced to a number of partners that aid Mario's quest, including Goombario, Cooper, Bombette, Paracari, Lady Bo, Wyatt, Sushi, and Lackluster, each with their own different ability. And when Paper Mario came out, there were no expectations. The game was a fresh take on a veteran franchise, and it won the hearts of millions. It wasn't until 2004, when the GameCube was about 3 years into its life, that we saw a sequel to the N64 swan song that was Paper Mario. And then, Paper Mario: The 1,000-Year Door became the second game in the series, borrowing many gameplay and visual elements from the first, but this time it explored a new plot with new faces, both good and bad. Yes, there's some commonalities, like collecting the 7 Star Crystals, but this time Bowser wasn't the culprit. Much like Super Mario RPG for the Super Nintendo, there was a bigger baddie at large, and it was Mario's job to stop them. The 1,000-Year Door is often revered to be the best in the series. Now, this obviously isn't the case for everyone, but it was the perfect storm of writing, gameplay, atmosphere, story, and a wealth of other things that all made the game as good as it was. And still is. I also think a large part of this was because the second game expanded on systems that the first introduced before the series decided to go down different paths. Understandably, developers don't want to continue to rehash the same game over and over again, and it's often hard for franchises with multiple entries to continue to deliver. And there was a huge quality drop-off after the 1,000-Year Door because every Paper Mario game that followed just kind of seemed to miss the mark with fans. Super Paper Mario released for the Wii in 2007, and this is where things started to go south. And before we go down this path, I just want to say that I personally did enjoy Super Paper Mario. While it's not what I wanted at first, I did like the game, although the complete absence of a turn-based combat system left a huge gap that was poorly filled with gimmicky motion controls and some traditional Mario platforming. The series went on to produce more games such as Sticker Star, Color Splash, and even a crossover with the popular Mario and Luigi franchise with Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. From here, it just seemed like Nintendo was rotating between different categories of art supplies and finding ways to turn them into a clunky combat system. I'll admit, when I saw the trailer for Sticker Star, I saw Nintendo returning to the turn-based combat system, and I made the mistake of getting my hopes up. There was also the whole system of paperizing the world to place stickers, which honestly was a huge snooze fest. But I think where the combat system really fell short was reintroducing turn-based attacks with stickers as currency. If you didn't have a sticker, you didn't have that attack, and I much prefer the bank system that requires some form of point usage with items to replenish those points. Oh wait, I'm describing a traditional RPG. Yeah, that's what we want, Nintendo. Also, both Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door both had a wealth of party members that were interchangeable, and those characters added a whole dynamic to the battle system with their unique abilities. Is that really the X factor, though? Is returning to a more traditional battle system with more friends the only thing that Paper Mario has really been missing? Anyway, the latest entry in the series was Paper Mario Color Splash, which hit the Wii U in October 2016 for most. I don't know if you remember the whole debacle of Nintendo accidentally uploading the entire version of the game to the eShop a couple of weeks before release, which means a handful of people were able to get their hands on the full game early. And Color Splash introduced a new card-based battle system that would require painting single-use cards on the gamepad, and then you would win battles to get coins to buy more cards. It was a pretty stupid and cumbersome system that could have easily been simplified to, oh, hang on, a more traditional turn-based battle system. It almost seems like we know it's broken here. Paper Mario games have always had clever visuals and writing. That's been a constant because Intelligent Systems understands the humor that works for the series. So in theory, all of these games had the chance to be good, but they really just weren't in reality. And I'm uploading this a day before E3, which means we very well could see an announcement for a new Paper Mario game, but I think we're about a year or so away from something like that, because typically it's been an average of about 4 years between releases, so it could very well be an E3 2020 game, seeing as Nintendo has the rest of the year blocked up with games like Animal Crossing, Link's Awakening, Pokemon, and a load of other unannounced games that I'm sure we'll see tomorrow. The whole idea of a paint-based system is cool, and the same goes for usage of stickers, but I don't think they should be the centerpiece of the entire combat system. Like I've said before, I'm sure there are people that have enjoyed games like Sticker Star and Color Splash, but as someone who has been with the franchise since the start, I would love a return to roots game. Timed attacks, flower points, party members, the whole 9 yards. At this point, I would even be willing to accept a remaster of the first or second game, or both, as they were the heart of the series, and I hate to see good ideas floundering because the crux of the game is poorly executed. The biggest issue is that these mechanics feel very forced into the bulk of the game, whereas Paper Mario and Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door didn't rely on gimmicks as a crutch. The first 2 games were self-aware that they were in a paper universe, and the writing surrounding it was very clever, but they didn't try to be something they weren't. Is any of this making sense to anyone? I feel like someone out there is feeling me right now. And as for Super Paper Mario, let's keep the platforming to traditional Mario games. It was a bold choice to move away from the turn-based combat as a whole, but I'd be okay if we never had another game like that, ever. Like I said, I would be very surprised if we got some kind of announcement for a new Paper Mario game in the near future, as I think we're about a year or so away given the average gap. And keep in mind that Nintendo is selling Switches hand over fist, and I expect a lot more consoles to move throughout the remainder of the year. So it's expected that Nintendo is going to pile on as many of their popular IPs as they can to make money. It's imminent. It's just a matter of when at this point, because the Switch still has a long life ahead of it, and Nintendo has already pulled out a lot of their big guns. Where can the franchise go next? It's already explored 2D to 3D spaces, used stickers and paint. If they're gonna try and force another gimmick, maybe it's time to introduce, I don't know, sculpting into the mix or something. I really don't know, I'm just spitballing ideas here. Remember that I'm not totally against freshening things up, but don't jam it into the combat system and force us to use it because it kills the fun. Now let me know in the comment section below where you'd like to see the franchise go next, if there even is a next, and I don't see Color Splash being the last entry in the Paper Mario franchise, as it would sell incredibly well on the Switch. Just to recap, returning to a simple turn-based system with party members can fix a lot. If you want to make use of additional art supplies, make them a supplement to the system, don't base the entire thing around them, and we'll all have a good time. The series started as an RPG, so it's about time that it rediscovered that it still is one. I'm going to go on record to say that I'm hopeful. I think that the next game will deliver, as Nintendo's been on their game since the Switch's release, in most cases. Let's not talk about what's going on with Super Mario Maker 2 or their online as a whole, but this is a single-player game, so I think the chances of getting it right are definitely higher. Just keep the motion controls out of it. If you like this video, be sure to go click on that little thumbs up button, because a little thumbs up can be a big help. If you're new to the channel, you can find more content like this on my channel, so go poke around and watch some other videos. And I play a lot of Smash, but with Mario Maker 2 coming out and virtually every other game for the rest of the year, expect to see some more variety. So go subscribe if you do want to see more. As always, thank you for the support, all the love. I'm on socials and Twitch as well. You can find those things in the video description, and we will see you in the next video. Later.